Hey, what's up YouTube? Kyle the Sit and Go guy here, about to show you my second game episode of me playing some sit and go poker for you. If you missed the first episode, I have played one game so far, took first place, and now have my second game coming up. So, wish me luck. I already know how it turns out, but you do not. Hopefully you enjoy it and learn something and have a little fun. Thanks, guys. Here we go. Hopefully you enjoy, hopefully you learn. Starting out, looks like I have a 6-9 offsuit. Blinds are very small, start with 1500, 30 to call, but I still put requirements on the hands I play. I don't play garbage like a 6-9 unless maybe I'm in the blind, one of the blinds with a lot of other people calling. So most of these videos, you'll see me folding a lot. That's kind of my strategy. I try to not overplay because you end up just losing chips playing more hands than you should. King 6 is in the same boat, offsuit, not a lot of value there, so I'll continue to fold. A lot of the times when I play online poker, I'm doing other things because there's so much folding, as I'll do with this Jack 7, and you don't really need to have a ton of attention on your game of poker. Yes, it's good to see how other people play to get some reads off them. However, until you are a veteran poker player, it's hard to know whether you're reading into things good or bad. So for those just beginning, especially, I recommend playing a very timid approach, not playing too many below average hands. And that is just your way of saving your money, saving your bank. I play these types of games a lot. This is just a one table game with 9 people. The top 3 will get paid. It is a $22 game, so as long as I get third or better, there will be profit. I think the payouts are 36, 54, and 90, I believe, is first place. So 6-4 offsuit. Beginning of this video so far is going to be very uneventful, but we'll see what happens and go from there. I played a game right before this, actually. RJM was in that game as well. Well, I'm sorry. The guy with the hat in the upper right, not the Yankees fan, but the other guy, was in my last game. Oop, we have an all-in here, a pair of 5s and a 10 kicker. Confused how hands like that even happen. If you recall, the lobster guy raised to 115, and he had a 5-10. So this is a $22 game with people raising out of position with the 5-10. It worked for him. You will not see me play like that. My goal is always to try to have the best hand, start to finish, essentially. So we'll see what happens. Now the lobster's limping. I have a suited ace. Is it worth an extra 90? Maybe. I'm going to say no. Lobster's going to call. Knew that was going to happen. And it was a good fold by me. At this point, I'd have nothing but an ace high. It's not going to hold up. These guys are betting huge. So by the time I have a good hand, I have a funny feeling somebody will pay me off at this table. We will just have to wait and see. So now I have a queen jack in a double raised pot in the small blind, which is the worst position after the flop. So I'll just fold. No need to risk another 150. Granted, I would have flopped top pair. We don't know if that's good yet, and now it's probably not. But we'll see. And that's why I fold. All right, well, ace 5 on the button. There is some value there. In a raised pot, however, the value goes down. I'm going to keep with my tried and true tight game and not overplay too many hands. Just save myself 90 there. I would have flopped bottom pair, but with 3 clubs, you can't trust that. I would have no draw. So again, another good fold so far. And I would have lost a lot of money. 4-2 suited, easy fold to me. I don't even care if anyone else limped. It's not a good hand. And we will continue to wait. Put in some waiting room music. Eight-10. This is my favorite hand. A little special love for it right here. Sometimes this is where I let myself get a little loose. Do I call raises to 120? No. Was I willing to give it a 30? Yes. So 8-10. Love you. Goodbye. Would have flopped a backdoor straight and a backdoor flush draw. My hand would have been garbage. Typically is the case with a 10 high, but it's a hand I like to play. People, it surprises people and can hit sometimes. So if you have a hand that you love, 1 or 2, you're allowed to break your normal rules. It's a game after all to play. So that's what we're here for, but we still have to win, or else we will be paying to play. So I have a king-queen suited here. Love king-queen. I don't typically raise with it, especially in when there's small blinds and a lot of people. I like to see flops. So that's what I'm going to try to do. We'll see what happens. Most of these pots have been raised pre-flop. So I feel like I'm going to have to probably put some more money in, but we'll see. All right, well, I have position here. And now I have a gut shot straight draw. I need a 10, or otherwise my hand is mostly garbage, especially if somebody has an ace. So I'll just check it, trying to peel off a 10 or a king or queen. Because again, right now my hand is not good. A 30 bet, I still can hit a 10 for the nuts. I'll call. Didn't get any help. No need to put any more money in. I'm just gonna fold. and I don't even want to know what he had betting that big. So blinds just went up. Now they're 60. So I have about 22 blinds. I'm already a tight player, which means I don't play a lot pre-flop. So I'm just going to continue my grind and wait for the good hands to come. Looks like there's a little bit of chat. People are saying nice hand, very polite. Since I'm not short stacked yet, I look at my big blind when I'm starting to get lower in chips. I cover my cards so I don't look at them until it's my turn to act. That's a habit from playing live. So I'm going to min bet here with second pair just to feel out what Spike is doing. He's smooth called, which leads me to believe he's on a draw or has overcards. Two big cards came. He hit a 10, so he called my bet with a 10 high. He had 3 outs at that point, and he hit a 10 on the turn, and I lost. So Spike is a horrible, or the lobster guy is a horrible player so far. Way too many hands pre-flop. Calls with nothing. So I'm just kind of logging that up here for if I get into a hand with him later. I got a flush draw here with 2 overcards. I'm going to keep betting small with my draw, hoping to hit something. I'm going to take one more bigger stab at the end, hoping he folds, because I had nothing. At the river, I had nothing but a jack high. If I didn't bet, he would likely win with anything. A queen 2 would have beat me. So that's why I bet on the river. Since I had been semi-bluffing with my flush draw and overcards, I had to make a bluff at the river to have my chance. I don't bluff too often. It's definitely not a trend you should get into because it'll end up costing you a lot of money. But in cases like that, the bluff is justified. King 10 suited. I have position. I'm going to just try to get into a cheap flop, which isn't going to happen. King 10 is not worth a 5 times bet, so I'll just lay it down, wait for a stronger hand. I'm now at 21 big blinds to my name, which puts me not in short stack territory, but I have to be cautious about what I play. As you have less big blinds to your bankroll, you have to be more selective. So my selectivity is going up, and we'll see if I can get some cards and maybe get a nice double up here. Again, the lobster is playing a lot of hands. Ended up catching another guy with a 5-8. Don't know why these people are playing such poor cards, but seems to work for them so far. But again, we're working on longevity here. You can win one game making horrible decisions, but it's hard to be a long-term good player making those types of decisions. pretty subpar hands, try to get extra information about how they play. Crippled seems to bet a lot, pretty much bets every flop, turn, and river that they're in. By the way, that person is the redhead in the bunch. So the redhead definitely seems to be very aggressive after the flop and also plays a lot of hands. Those kind of people usually will bleed their money away over time. So we'll see what happens. And the lobster, I'm waiting for him to double me up. So that's where I'm at. About to be the big blind with a 6-2 offsuit, which is one of the worst possible hands. Our redhead, who plays too many hands, of course, is in. We'll see if we get a free flop, and we do. Let's check it out. Horrible flop for me. No pair, no draw. Crippled, of course, or the redhead is making her bets, of course. I have no hand. I'll just let it go. Again, I'm waiting to catch a hand because I know once I do, one of these players is going to pay me off. They're all very into betting. I limped into this one with the Jack-9. It only cost half a blind. It was worth getting a peek into a flop. Of course, I didn't hit anything, and I dropped. And here we go with the lobster calling with a Queen-4 in horrible position. Again, poor choices. Keep looking out for their lobster. Good for the lobster. Bad for all those other players out there watching, thinking that's a good idea. All right, my first actual real hand here. Now that blinds are up, I have 11.5 big blinds to my name. And now we are in all-in territory. We have a guy raising, or a cat raising, a caller. Simple all-in for me. Obviously, aces, kings, and queens beat me. And it's a race. Coin flip. No king, queen, or jack. And a queen. So that is the end of my game. Calling an all-in with a king-queen. He was lucky that he had a coin flip with me. I think that was a very poor call on that player's part, but in the end, you usually have to win a coin flip to get paid. Nothing I can do about that. I didn't misplay it. I could have maybe called and seen a flop, but I would risk giving cheap overcards the ability to see cards. Not mad about my play. I always take a few minutes to self-reflect about what happened to make sure I understand. Did I make a mistake? Could I have done something different? In this case, I only had 11 blinds. 6 to 12 is about short stack territory where you only really have all in or fold. So calling there was not an option. My all in was the right choice. Again, the player called and he was lucky to have 2 overcards and then lucky to hit 1 on the river. So I've lost, but you have to keep going. You can't let emotions run how you play. You have to just keep doing what the odds say, following your best practices, don't tilt, and over time, you'll make money. But stay tuned. Keep watching, keep learning.